YouTube. Welcome to YouTube, especially TikTok refugees. Refugees of TikTok, welcome to YouTube. So, we're going to talk about the things that they won't let you talk about on TikTok. Zionists and Epstein, especially right now. Well, and anything against Trump. So, I call it TrumpTok. And since they won't let you talk about this on TikTok, we're going to talk about it here. Because there's a reason why they don't want us to talk about it. No. This platform is not really like TikTok. Like, we don't really have the same potential that you have there. Well, I guess we have a lot of potential, but we're not very far along in accessing that potential. And we don't have a lot of the features that TikTok has. But when I think about it, my experience of TikTok, well, it was great. Um, a lot of the discussion and debate stuff was kind of wasted because of, even if they had good features like being able to debate people from the chat, things like that, it kind of all got misused, or they got hijacked by the trolls and stuff. And now that I think about that, I think about how that ruined a good thing. I shouldn't let the trolls in my chat ruin a good thing here either. Especially now that I'm finally getting decent sized audiences, even if lots of them are still trolls. I can certainly stand to remove more trolls so that we don't have to deal with that. But anyway, um, it seems like they would even want to change themselves, honestly, just because of how bad everything's getting. We've got like all the amendments on our side now. We got the First Amendment. Always we have been the ones who are actually for free speech, even though they do lie and make it sound like they're the ones for free speech sometimes. They did lie for a long time and act like they were the ones for the Second Amendment, gun rights, but then killed gun owner, American hero, and martyr Alex Preddy, and showed that they were not genuine about that either. So now the Democrats are the ones representing gun rights and the Second Amendment as well. So it just seems like we've got, all of America on our side turning against Trump, and really looking forward to that as it grows in the coming days and as it's expressed, which is why I feel like it's good to be able to use our expression as much as we can. When this platform we can actually talk about Zionists and Epstein and Trump, then we should do it. Especially now when all these people have to leave TikTok because they can't talk about those things, or they're getting kicked off for talking about those things, or they just realize they can't be on a platform that won't let them talk about things like that, when those are the things we need to talk about to stop them. And of course, it shows, how terrible TikTok has become, and why they need to be, abandoned and lose their value and everything, because of what they did to it. So, and I think that's happening. There's a lot of people uninstalling TikTok, and I think Upvote or some other platform is the number one download now to replace the other alternatives. But I guess YouTube is in some ways an alternative, or we can make it more of an alternative. Um, we can make it a lot more like what TikTok used to be if we try to. So since plenty of people are on YouTube, I figure why not do that instead of giving in, or trying to go to another platform. So, and I'm looking forward to the people. I think that's what's really going to backfire on them about the way they kind of capture TikTok, is the people from TikTok going to other platforms is going to help the other platforms be more like what TikTok used to be. It's harder to do it here, because they don't just automatically show you things. Like, you have to be more intentional about seeking out and connecting with things you like. They try to foist a lot of kind of BS on you. So, and of course, the thing that was so nice about TikTok was they just actually show you things you like instead of showing you a bunch of stuff you hate in order to make you mad. Maybe I should consider that also as a reason to block trolls and stuff, is just to not play their games. If they're only showing my content to the people it's going to make mad, Trump supporters, then, I can just, remove them or whatever, or mute them so that they don't at least get to influence anything. Peace and blessings. Hope you're well. Hope you're well too, pure blood. Are you a vampire? Or sorry, magical type? What is your magical type? I guess I should ask that. What is your magical type? There's a cat here, so. Nah, dude, you're not a vampire. Are you a TikTok refugee? Are you coming to YouTube from because TikTok got all shut down and messed up? The title of the live tonight is Zios and TrumpTok and Epstein. Oh my. Because apparently you can't talk about Epstein or Zionists on TikTok as of yesterday or today, so I figured, okay, well, we'll talk about it here on YouTube. We can talk about those things. So I have a feeling that since 6% of Americans are satisfied with Trump's release of the Epstein files, Greek Orthodox male living in Australia. Why are you Greek Orthodox? That's just curious to me. There are a lot of Greek Orthodox people in Australia. Do you ever feel like replacing your church? Yes, there are a lot. Why is that? Why is that the case? I feel like replacing the Christian churches in America and around the world, honestly. What's the oldest religion? Are you saying Greek Orthodox is one of the oldest Christian branches? They're all going to be replaced. All the Christian churches get replaced. That's what the Gospel of Judas is about. But hey, at least they all get replaced by the same church. So, unifies what used to be Christianity. And it should bring a lot of people back to the church or whatever it's called. I guess it can be called a church. Back to Jesus. It's more about Jesus. The Church of Judas is more about Jesus. And the goddess. replacing Christianity and the evil things that it's done. Right now, one of the greatest evils it's doing is this Christian nationalism, Trumpism stuff in America. So that's one thing we're going to get rid of. That's one thing the Church of Judas is specifically for, is eradicating Trumpism and war and patriarchy. So that's one thing we'll do, is replace their churches. Now, regarding the way they're trying to keep us from talking about their crimes. So we want to talk about Epstein stuff they don't want us to talk about. One of the kind of insights I had today is that it's not just that Trump's friends and himself are in the Epstein files, and it's embarrassing for him, or it would cause them, problems. Like, it's people in the government too. It's people who are in Congress, in the Senate. And so removing those people, or having those people have to resign because they're in the Epstein files, will probably flip the government. And that's one thing they can't let that happen. It's the end of the Trump government. But I think if we draw that very logical and obvious conclusion, the release of the Epstein files is the end of the Trump government. So you're not going to release him until his government is gone. Well, why shouldn't that precipitate just ending his government early? Why wouldn't that be a good enough reason to just say, okay, let's remove Trump so we can get the Epstein files? Because he's not going to release them. To me, it seems like they've already pushed it to that point where that has to be the response. And it's going to, the fact that it reveals people in the government who will have to resign, yeah. And it's probably going to reveal this other connections to foreign governments. And that's going to change the way people view things as well, which is why TikTok won't let you say Epstein or Zionist anymore, or talk about Zionist or Epstein anymore. I've also heard that TikTok supposedly cut America off from foreign countries' content. But then I asked my friend that, and she said no, she actually saw more. But that one day, all the content she saw, the only content she saw, was about one specific book. Which that is a little suspicious. Too many powerful people involved. But they're not really that powerful, think about it. They have to prevent us from talking about Epstein and Zionists. I'm talking to presumably two people right now, potentially. On TikTok, people talk to large numbers of people. But what did they accomplish by talking to those large numbers of people? Like, I always remember trying to save that app from the obvious intentions of these fascists to take it over. They've just now officially kind of fully taken it over. Obviously, they'd taken it over even back in January of this year to a significant degree. But they didn't save it from this fate. And the people probably don't care that much. The people probably go to other apps. That's why I imagine we have had more good people here. Not necessarily now, but there's only a couple of people here. But in recent times, there's been a lot more good people here than before. But we should save the original TikTok too. We should bring back the original TikTok when we get a chance. So, I don't know. I might go live a little bit longer. I might consider this a short one. I usually go live for about an hour. We've been about 15 minutes so far, so we'll see. They're trying to hide their genocides. The one Trump's doing here in America, the one Netanyahu's doing in Gaza, the one Putin's doing in Ukraine, and others, I'm sure. I mean, it's their same network of people. And they do have other leaders in other countries. And we really got to stop them. Um, I think one of the best ways we can stop them in America is just by promoting automatic citizenship for everyone ICE contacts. What would you guess? What's your best guess would be my answer to your question. What is your best guess is my what is your best guess is my answer to your question. Oh, your question is it was it like faked or something? I mean, I'd like to think that Tupac was alive. But I think maybe he might be, but I think more almost I don't know if it's more likely, but I think they just had a lot of his music that they could still release after he passed on. It kind of gave that aura, gave people that feeling. It's kind of like if somebody's famous and they fake their death and they just, want to be left alone incognito like a regular person, whatever you want to call it. They kind of are, aren't they? I mean, they're not being who they used to be. So it doesn't make any difference. I guess people can just retire or something though, but that's from actively making their music or whatever. I mean, I'd made a joke about that recently because when the people were destroying the ICE hotel, there was a hotel that ICE was at and they had to leave. And one of the people they were like escorting out of the hotel had a mask on, but his top of his head looked. I mean, it wasn't giant like Charlie Kirk's. I guess it didn't really look like Charlie Kirk. Bioffs? What? I don't know what that word is. Haven't they been doing that? Isn't it kind of weird that they have to? Isn't it kind of weird that they have to pay people $50,000 to kidnap people? And I'm sure that people don't really get that money. Think about it. You probably have to do certain things or whatever, stay on for certain amounts of time to get the money. And they probably like make you kill people and stuff so that you don't really want to do it anymore. But yeah, I think if it was just a trap, if you were like, hey, let's see who accepts $50,000 to kidnap and terrorize people. Let's get those, is it worth $50,000 as like a police operation or social operation to clean them up and eventually arrest them or whatever, remove them from society. Especially if you don't end up paying them the $50,000, you just promise them $50,000. Happy birthday, Elliot. I mean, if they were street cleaners, I don't think anybody have any problem with them. if they were like, if ICE was the name of the people that like removed the ice, if they were like a snowplow crew, I don't think people have a problem with it if they were doing their job. But since they're kidnappers, like, all Americans hate them. Since they're kidnappers and they kill gun owners and they're just kind of a terrorist network for Trump, Americans hate them. Trump Putiners might still like them, but Trump Putiners are shrinking as a group of people. There's being less Trump Putiners every day, especially now that gun owners have turned on Trump. Well, they lie about stuff, yeah. Yeah, they're lying. Jack Monroe told you they're lying. Yeah, fuck ICE. Yeah, all Americans hate them. Like, the military's gonna side with the Americans. Like I said, if you were just promising people $50,000, you don't even have to give it to them. You're just promising people $50,000. Isn't $50,000 what Tom Homan took in a bribe in the FBI sting? If you were just promising people $50,000, um, to see if they go around kidnapping people, and then they did, and first of all, you don't give them the $50,000. You just tell them you're gonna, but they fell for it, and they're willing to go kidnap people for $50,000, and then people end up arresting them, rounding them up and arresting them. Well, that's a good way to get a lot of kidnappers off the streets. Kidnappers and terrorists. Why are you now saying that it's all the biggest psyop for division? Like 30 seconds ago, you were saying that ICE was doing good. Like, dude, like, pick a lane. You have to pay back the whole thing if you. What? Oh, no way. Oh, shit, dude. So they just kind of made slaves out of them. But did they actually give them $50,000? I knew there would be some type of catch to it. I figured they wouldn't even get the $50,000 until they've been an ICE agent for 5 years, which would be crazy. But even if they give it to them, you have to pay it back if you quit. Then they haven't given it to them. They're just kind of giving you like a student loan debt. But you got that whole, like a whole 4 year college worth of student loan debt in 1 week, if you sign up for ICE. Military gives you a $20,000 to $50,000 sign-on bonus. Even if you, even if the only reason you join the military is because the judge told you to, do you still get a sign-on bonus? Or do you only get one if you're doing it kind of your own free will? This person says military is not 20 to 50,000 K unless it's Army. It only vests at 5 years? What does that mean? They only pay you after 5 years? Anyway, in my opinion, it's like bait. It's like, hey, let's find out who the natural kidnappers in the society are. Let's offer them a bonus to go kidnapping people. But it's only bait if you like catch them, you know? It's only bait if you spring a trap on them. And I'm saying, it's not because somebody designed it this way. I mean, Putin maybe kind of designed it this way, but I think Putin's plans are kind of backfiring on him. So, like, if he wants Trump to call up the military, maybe Trump will call up the military, but the military won't side with the ICE agents. The military will end up siding with the civilians. I think the more we talk about it, the less likely he is to call him out. But also, it'll just backfire on him. It's kind of weird. Do you think that guy's a bot? That Nilburn character? The Marine squad leader Contract. The Marine Squad Leader contract is 6 years, frontline. You get 1,000. An Army, 3 years, 25,000. And it's not as much responsibility or duty. What? So is the difference that they don't have to give you as much to be a Marine because a Marine is a more, like, is it exclusive or prestigious or something? Do people do that for the additional honor or something of being a Marine? Presumably, is that the way people feel about it? Why isn't the bonus as good? I'm not generally interested in Army stuff, but right now I am because I really think the Army should be gearing up and planning to stop ICE. I guess the idea of blocking trolls, like, it's kind of work or something. It does seem worthwhile. Um, they're just like the opposites of they do they're like the opposite of thinking. Hmm. So it is something about because of the culture of the Marines, you shouldn't feel like you need as big of a sign-on bonus because you have the honor of being a Marine. That's cool. First in, last out. If you need 25,000, get out. Do you get to keep the 25,000 if you get out? But I'm trying to understand what ICE is doing illegally, like, honestly. You're trying to understand why they're doing illegal things? Or are you trying to understand why people are saying they're doing illegal things because you don't think what they're doing is illegal? They're doing a lot of illegal things, but I think the one that most people have problems with is the kidnappings. Well, I guess most people are having problems with the killings, because they weren't really having problems with the kidnappings, but more people seem to be having problems with the killings. I personally think the kidnappings are, you know, as bad, just as bad, really bad. It's not a contest, but kidnapping tens of thousands of people versus killing hundreds of people, they're both really bad. Just stuff terrorists do. Does that make sense? They seem to be breaking a lot of other laws too, but the laws about kidnapping. What book? Which book? The book I showed you on the live stream? Or were we talking about a book? Oh no, I haven't read it. I haven't read the book you recommended. Would you say it was a Hardy Boys book or Nancy Drew or something? Was it like a choose your own adventure or something? So anyway, I usually go live for about an hour. Not really feeling it tonight. We'll see. We're at about a half an hour now, so might go live for another half an hour, but I don't know. I might shut this one down early because I did put like the banned topics in the title. Epstein and Trump and Zionism. Because the reason I wanted to have a topic about that is not really because I had specifically that much to say, but just because they don't let you say anything. They're not letting you talk about those things. So I was like, okay, well, if they don't want to let us talk about those things, then I want to talk to the people who want to talk about those things. Hello, Krista. Oh, yeah, I'm almost asleep now. I was just saying that. Thanks for showing up, though. Oh, is it a true story? Is it like a biography or a historical story to commemorate a historical event? Made to fall. What? You might have to explain a little bit more. So I did have a couple things to say about Epstein. I mean, we can talk as much as y'all like, but like their next pressure point on Trump is to ask the judge to appoint a special master. I'm like, I guess it depends on whether it's a Trumpy judge or not. Like, yeah, they'll probably appoint the special master. They'll probably appoint as Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, they're so cover up. I don't know why that isn't a clue to everybody. Well, why are they covering it up? And I guess the only other contribution I have to the whole conversation is that they're covering up the Epstein files because it's going to topple the government. Because there's enough people in the government, or at least to topple the Republican hold on the government. There's enough people actually currently in the government who are in the Epstein files. They're going to have to resign when it actually comes out, so they'll lose control of the House and Senate. Even if some of them are Democrats who have to resign, they'll lose more Republicans. So they'll lose the House and Senate. That's why they won't let the files come out. Or not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons. That's my suspicion. So if they're gonna lose power of the government, that's why they won't let them come out. Then we need to make them go ahead and lose so that we can get the files to come out. All about our system and the creature that has a hold on us. What creature? Like capitalism or like a metaphor for capitalism? He doesn't think Epstein is dead. Wasn't somebody suggesting that about Charlie Kirk? Is this still? Are we the same person who was suggesting that earlier? Yeah, me too. Dead Man System. Dead Man System says I'm tired of people who don't put this country first, using it and getting money over the real people. Yep, they're bad. Jonathan Studio says, or Jonathan SBDB says, calm down. Why? From Israel. Well, yeah, the Zionists are part of this evil thing with the Trump Nazis, Trump Putineers, and Putin himself. I gotta stop messing with the messages. Yeah, I am sleepy. It's probably Chris probably had the good advice. Just go to sleep. Dead men. Who is getting money over real people? I think he means like the government, like Trump. Trump's not putting the country first. He's putting himself first and stealing a bunch of money. Yeah, we can go down the list if you want. People are exploiting our country and stealing a bunch of money off of it. Dude, who the hell is Daniel Larson, dude? Why do people keep saying that guy's name? Because does anybody know who he is? Because people always say his name, but nobody ever says who he is. I'm good. Sorry. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just sleepy. Thanks, though. Thanks, Juicebox. Molotov Juicebox. I like your name. It's cute. Are any of you guys from TikTok? Were you guys on TikTok before they shut it down? Before they captured it for the bad guys and made it TrumpTok? Yeah, thanks for speaking up with such a fun name. Were you any of you guys on TikTok before they shut it down yesterday? TikTok was fun. You're not missing anything now, but it was awesome. But apparently they made it where you can't say Zionist, you can't say Epstein, you can't talk bad about Trump. So we're gonna do all those things here. Fuck TrumpTok. He's like a homeless dude that forages in alleys like a little rodent. Who are we talking about? Trump? He does look kind of like a rodent or a, I don't know, a badger or something. Yeah, who is that? Who is this Daniel Larson person? I probably saw your last comment, Nilvin. Let me scroll back up to it if I missed it. I apologize. You said he was a spy. Epstein was a spy? Oh, you're saying Epstein's not dead, he was a spy. Yeah, well, no. Is that okay? You just explained who Daniel Larson was. Hold on, I missed it. You just said Daniel Larson again. Oh, he's like a homeless dude that forages in alleys like a little rodent. Okay, that's who he is. Okay, thanks. He says no, no. But did you know who he was, Carissa? He says don't respect rodents like that. I support human being. I think Trump is okay. He's not though. Trump's a problem. Epstein was a spy. We're talking about how Epstein was a spy. You think Epstein was a spy for Israel, or for like? You think Epstein was a spy for America, or you think Epstein was a spy for Russia? Who do you think Epstein was a spy from? For Trump is nothing like a rodent. Rodents are smart and cute. Exactly. Carissa, Israel. Okay. Yeah, that's why Zionism, Epstein. If Zionism and Epstein both got blocked on the same day, that's not really a coincidence, you know? Like, what should we block? Let's block anybody criticizing Zionists. Let's do that. Oh, let's block anybody criticizing Epstein, too, while we're at it. Completely unrelated. It's not completely unrelated. See, this guy, why is this guy like Trump is okay? Israel is okay. What country are you from, UFO gaming? India? Nothing against India. Is it India? Like, that's not a take that we appreciate here in America. We all hate Trump and we all hate Israel. You are from India. That's cool. I mean, you guys have a problem because you need to overthrow Modi. Zionists are very dangerous. Yeah, they're dangerous, but so is BJP. So is your Modi guy, Hindu nationalist. You guys are very dangerous. Not you guys, but you know what I'm saying. You have the version of Nazism in India that you need to get rid of, just like we need to get rid of Trumpism. What's his name's Israel needs to get rid of Zionism, and what's his name's Russia needs to get rid of Putin. Bible says only follow Jesus and not to trust the synagogue of Satan. That's a good point. Nobody's silencing your comments, Nilbert. I might have missed some, but your comments were, did you see my last comment? He was a spy. Oh, did they censor something between did you see my last comment and they must silence my comments? Because, yeah, usually they show me if they're like hiding a comment, but if they completely silence it, that's just net in YouTube. Net in YouTube. Try saying it in a different way. This guy's been streaming for like 40 hours. Now I just go streaming frequently sometimes. Especially when it's a good time to point out that people are going to have to choose between guns and Trump. Or you're going to have to choose America or Trump. Or you're going to have to choose between Jesus or Trump. Guns or Trump. America or Trump. Jesus or Trump. I think this is a very important time to point out that those are the decisions that Americans are going to have to make. You're not Hindu. Yeah, don't you know that Hindus are messing up India, though? What's with India loving Israel? It's just certain people in India, these nationalists. It's a Nazi network. Putin runs it. He runs it through Israel, through Netanyahu and Trump, and through Modi and Orban and all the other ones in their little clan. That's crazy. 40 hours. He's probably just seen me like 5 different times over the last 40 hours. No, I haven't been streaming for 40 hours. I've just been streaming here and there. I think many nations suffering. Yeah, many nations are suffering, but they're all suffering from the same network of bad guys. These bad guys are all propping up oil companies and these fascist platforms. Guns and Jesus. You can't pick guns and Jesus. It's there you go. Jesus only. See, that's a good answer. You can pick guns or Jesus. I mean, sorry, you can. Yeah, sorry, you can pick guns and Jesus. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I am sleepy. Yes, guns and Jesus. In America, if you want, you can pick America. You don't have to. But these are the things that are opposed to Trump. You can't pick guns and Trump. You can pick guns and Jesus. Yes, Jesus only. That's fine too. Just don't pick Trump. The whole point is don't pick Trump. Another boring yank stream about absolutely nothing. Where do you live that you call people a boring yank? An entire nation of narcissists. What nation is that, Cat? So many roads take flight on both sides of the night. Our boat will pass them by on both sides of the night. In between banks, we'll float on and pour out thanks that we'll get there if we just glide back down in Cat Town. Dead Man System says Jesus first, gun second. Jesus told his followers to pick up a sword. And Net and YouTube blocked that because Net and YouTube's scared of Jesus, the word guns. I mean, I proved it so that it wouldn't be blocked. Now they also blocked one of Carissa's comments. They said, I think it's time you get snack and some sleep. Get ready to stream for OnlyFans. I can't do that yet. I don't have it set up. Putin's bad. Why would you even ask a human being if Putin was good or bad? Everybody knows Putin's bad. Jesus being shot by the guns. And he turns his blood into wine for the lads. Do you remember the FBI on a meth bender? Cash was changing Tyler's roommate's gender while they helped the Groypers get away. Good luck, UFO Gaming. Nice to see you again. We'll talk more next time. Oi, Cat, do you reckon Jesus would have preferred pingers or ketamine? Pingers? What kind of Brit? Are you a Brit? Is that why you say that? Weird. I think I know what we'll do here. Sorry for being so super boring, Cat. You didn't really help much. I blocked the Zionist troll. That was fun. Australian fuckwit. I mean, you're basically Brits, aren't you? Aren't you just British criminals? But it would be if you streamed for like 50 hours straight. What would be? Super boring. But it would be if you streamed for like 50 hours straight. Well, I don't know. If I had snacks or something, it'd probably get exciting. They would not let me say the 4 words I'm trying to say, and it's not even bad. I'm sorry, Melbourne. Just say the 4 words like with, I don't know, spaces between them or something. He's been busy streaming for 40 hours. I'm sleepy. I just ate my bedroom door. Did you at least put something on it? Donald J. Plump, 232. Who are these people? Paradigm of reality. Why is your name Paradigm of Reality? You joined 9 months ago. Wait, you're saying the same thing that other person said. It's almost like you're a bot. What? Oh, yeah, you're anti-toys. Should we let the bot talk or should we block the bot? I'm getting a new. I'm turning over a new leaf of blocking a bunch of bots. Yeah, can you see one word and put them together? Sure. I can do puzzles. That word came up as 9. Oh, 9/11. The message was held from review was inside. You're so funny. Have you heard of BB's 9/11? Do you condemn BB? Do you condemn BB's 9/11? Are they like actual bots? They might be. I don't know. Are you an actual bot paradigm of reality? Do you condemn BB's 9/11? Wow, inside. Yeah, it's some edgy stuff. What does that mean? Bush? George Bush? What does that mean? George Bush? Yeah, I read your comment. They blocked you saying that comment. I don't doubt it. Because they would, um, well, YouTube lets you say more things than TikTok did. Are you an actual bot? What's your name? Paradigm of Reality? It was just interesting. He was saying the exact same thing word for word as the last one I blocked. The last one was Tristane36. TRYSTANE 3675. He was some type of Zionist bot. And this one's just saying the exact same thing. But except they didn't put a bunch of Israeli flags. But just a bot. YouTube is a goat for being able to say what you want. That's good. I mean, you can't really say what you want. I can see a lot of things that they kind of filter, and they're kind of weird. It's like they're just prudish, like they don't like people saying wet. Why don't they talk about the building? What? Why don't they talk about building? About building what? We can talk about it here, remember? We've somehow been. Did I fall asleep during the live? We've somehow been live for 47 minutes. That's ridiculous. I think the first 30 minutes went by without anybody really being here. Thank y'all for being here. Thanks for talking to me. Probably will shut it down. This was kind of uneventful, but fun. It was nice talking to you guys. It was nice to not get trolls this time. Besides a couple. Oh, Building 7. Yeah. Wait. Why don't they talk about... I guess I just didn't see the 7 the first time you made that. That's kind of weird. Why do you think they don't talk about Building 7? Why do they filter, you think? Just... It's like a Christian... It's a white supremacist thing. Christian anti-sex stuff is one reason they filter. They also filter just for yeah. Building 7 at the World Trade Center. They don't like to talk about what happened to Building 7 at the World Trade Center. There's a lot of things they don't talk about. He says that it just... I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. He says it just fell down at like 5:30 at night in on itself. It is one of those things they don't like to talk about. But they don't talk about BB's 9/11 much either. Why did BB call it Israel's 9/11? Why did he call it that? Did he know what he was saying when he said that? Can we talk about that for a second? Can we talk about Zionists? Have you heard about the 5 dancing Israelis? Do you know who the 5 dancing Israelis are? Milburn? Since you're up on the anti-Israel stuff. Do you know the 5 dancing Israelis? Okay, I'll tell you the 5 dancing Israelis. If you watch Carl Wiederman, he's recently been demonetized by YouTube, but he's still on YouTube. He's just demonetized. You got to support him through Patreon. I think his show is the Carl Wiedemann Show, Wedemann, something like that. I think it's Carl. Anyway, he's the one who... I watched his report on the 5 dancing Israelis. So when they hit the World Trade Center, these Israelis were like filming it, like, and dancing and everything. And just look up the 5 dancing Israelis. They'll tell you about it. So they basically, they're like, you know, yay, we did it, So same with like I remember on September 11th, like that night, I turned on just turning flipping around late night TV. I wasn't like trying to watch some late night televangelist guy, but flipping around late night TV, and this late night televangelist guy came on, and he was like, "There's terrible rumors going around that Israel canceled all flights to New York City today on September. Like they had advanced knowledge of what was going to happen." He's like, "Don't believe these terrible rumors." But it's like, okay, well, you're the person I'm hearing them from, but like, I'm sure you can just check that. Did they cancel all the flights to New York City or not? So anyway, and then when BB's like, "This is our 9/11." Okay, well, it's BB's 9/11. Um, does he know what that means to like lots of Americans? Like to call it BB's 9/11? Does he know what that signals to Nilburn? What does that mean to you, Nilburn? When you hear Netanyahu say it's my 9/11, what does that mean to you? I feel bad for you, buddy. You do this every single day. So much hate in your heart. See, but they don't feel bad for you. Okay, this is the weird Christian love bullshit. I'm not. Was I like angry about anything? I'm not sounding angry or hateful or anything right now. And he just scrolls into the live just because he knows I hate Trump. And he's like, "Oh, you're always hating Trump." It's like, yeah, dude, I'll be hating Trump. You know, like you're not gonna change that. Everybody hates Trump. All Americans hate Trump. I hate I hate Trump on behalf of a lot of Americans who don't have time to hate Trump. I'm just doing my duty to the country. Hating Trump for the Americans that don't have time to hate Trump. I do other things too, but hating Trump is a perpetual condition until he's gone. That's just the way it should be. That's just the way Americans feel. I feel bad for you not being American enough to know that and hate Trump yourself. But anyway, Trumpers are annoying and stupid and boring. I don't hate nobody, but I don't like the way our puppet is being puppeted. He's not our puppet, dude. He's Putin's puppet. He's not our puppet. Trump's a puppet of Putin, dude. It's not corporations. It's not two wings, same bird. It's none of that shit, dude. I mean, maybe some of the Republicans he's taking advantage of are that shit, but no, Trump is fucking just working for Putin. He's just here to destroy USA. I hate Nazis. I hate Trump Putiners. That offends you. You like have a real problem with the fact that I hate Nazis and Trump Putiners. Fuck you. Like, what can I tell you? Fuck you, fuck off. Scroll away next time. Don't draw attention to yourself. It makes me feel like, oh, I failed my obligation to curse the Trump Putineer Nazis in chat and to curse Trump and Putin and Netanyahu through you. My obligation is if you're going to cruise through here and talk some MAGA shit, I'm going to curse your ass. And I'm going to curse Trump through you. Watch what happens to Trump tomorrow. That's your fault, okay? It's all a ruse, Roger Cheeto says. I've seen you before, Roger Cheeto. You reject all politicians. Milburn's for small government. Echo says, how's life? It's really good. How's yours, Echo? I'm talking to one of my favorite people here, Carissa, and all of you. It's nice to see you again. Honestly, it just sounds like you're stuck in this echo chamber. Well, I wish I heard more people who are calling Trump a Nazi. I actually don't hear it nearly enough. Don't twist and misinterpret anything. You just live in a crazy Trump reality because you're a Trump zombie. You've gotten your mind reprogrammed. Joe Biden quit. He did. Probably should have just stuck it out and died or something. Or no, not died. Or, he should have just stuck it out and said, okay, now I'm unfit for office. Now Kamala Harris is president or whatever. I think it's deeper than Republican and Democrat, but I mean it's also Republican and Democrat. Like there might be something deeper there, but it's also Republican Democrat. I'm not saying there's not nefarious corporate influence poisoning the Democrats, keeping them from stopping the Republicans. There's that too, but there's also good Democrats. Big government for business and tax law is what I don't like. Milburn says Roger is right. There's a larger game being played, and the key figures behind it all. I mean, there's a larger game than that being played. Like, whatever you suspect about the government, you probably don't suspect what I'll tell you about the church and it getting replaced unless you've been here before. And that's bigger than the government. Sorry to point it out, and it also affects the government. So it's bigger than the scheme that even if you can determine what the scheme is that you're referring to, I'm talking about a bigger scheme than that. That's going to make that scheme, invalid or obsolete or whatever. But let's talk about who those key figures are. What was the anonymous post today, Nilburn? Heisenberg is here. Have you ever heard the Eyes of Heisenberg? The goth band, the Eyes of Heisenberg? I used to talk to that girl when we were on TikTok. And what is Heisenberg? Because there's a band called the Eyes of Heisenberg, spelled exactly like your name. Chase, Morgan, Rothschild, etc. Yeah, J.P. Morgan funded Epstein. And then Roger says the key players we don't even know. Okay, but how about this? Putin. Okay, Putin runs Trump. Can you agree on that? Is this too much of a stretch for you? Putin runs Trump and Netanyahu. Are we together on this? If Putin runs Trump and Netanyahu, yeah, there could be some billionaire, Rothschild, something else behind it, but how much more do we need to address right now than Putin runs Trump and Netanyahu? Let's just lock in one conspiracy theory to address. Putin runs Trump and Netanyahu. Okay, Bilderberg, whatever. I mean, yeah. Heisenberg, the Heisenberg. What is Heisenberg? There might be players we don't know. Like, I speculate what's Xi relationship to Putin? Why doesn't Xi stop Putin if he has decent bone in his body? So it makes you real suspicious of Xi. But let's just talk about Putin and Trump and Netanyahu for a minute. Like, we know who they are. Why do we need to find some other boogeyman beyond them? If some boogeyman's controlling them and they're the ones instrumental in the boogeyman's plan, why don't we just stop Trump and Putin and Netanyahu? Doesn't BlackRock manage like $1 trillion in asset? Nobody should be able to manage assets that large. What was the anonymous post today? I gotta shut down the live in like 1 minute. Since you guys are very interesting, please comment on my content. We'll stay in touch through your comments. What does Russia gain from Israel and America? Well, actually, Putin's just a psycho. What Putin wants to do is destroy America. Israel is a way of doing that. But Putin's goal is to destroy America through Trump. He's weaponizing our racism to make us spend $75,000 at least to deport people when it would cost $750 each to naturalize them. So he's not just terrorizing us with this ICE kidnapping stuff and concentration camps and making America into a Nazi regime. He's also bankrupting us with it. So there's different layers to what Putin's doing, but he's destroying America. He's probably destroying Israel too. And Netanyahu and Trump are just falling for it like idiots. I've heard of Breaking Bad, but I never watched it. Crushed ICE. Yeah, but we're going to beat ICE. They're firing Kristi Noem and etc. now. So we're going to beat this whole fascist regime. Thank y'all for talking to me about it. I got to shut it down because we're at an hour, but I'll go live again in a minute if y'all want.